Welcome back, everybody. Excuse me. Welcome back, everybody. Dren608 plays here. We're playing Unconditional Surrender in Europe. Designed by Salvatore Vasta, developed by Mark Dey and Alan Hill, who's also on the development team. Published by GMT Games. We are using the board game Arena module that was developed by Luna LOL. It's about 99% correct. There's some edge cases when you're doing home defense repatriation that don't quite work right, but they're acceptable because it only happens usually in very extreme cases where the Germans are basically being crushed, or the British don't have any home hexes to place things in. And there is a workaround around that where you can just say, okay, I agree that you've done all you can do, and we can just get out of that soft lock. I'm failing to take this badly. We have poor weather here, so we're going to try and do something about the BEF. I kind of have the things garrisoned up in the west. These guys need to take Brest and then head east. We are terrible in the diplomacy line. I've lined up to go after Greece, possibly. I think I'm going to move an armored unit down here as well to try and make sure that it's short work if we get a chance to do it. In the hopes of getting Italy in, because you really need to have Italy in the war to make it work. The Germans did, I believe, have already built their surprise attack marker back, so we'll have that soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're at 8. We're at 8 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at 8 right now, but we don't really have a lot that we can do. We did manage to get Sweden in. Soviets managed to get Finland on their side, but they've been very slow in being able to get borderlands. I did show the mechanic that's changed, that even though these guys are allied with you, the Soviets were still able to claim Karelia. So that's a change in the diplomacy rules in the game that allows some of that kind of stuff to go on. He still has not gotten any of the Baltic states. The diplomacy cup is 1 political failure and 2 areas seized. The Germans are probably going to let that be this turn. I don't know. It's very hard for the Germans to get anything going at this point. So we're not going to declare war on anybody this turn. So let's keep going. Yeah, I'm going to hold off until I can get an armored unit down here, because I'm going to need that. So I don't need any points there. The Finns don't need any points. I'm a +1 to his 0. We're at 1 each. I did push him up 1, but that's really not going to hurt him that much. Strategic movement, that's what I was talking about, is thinking about getting an armored unit down here into Greece area. So we're going to just put that armored unit here for next turn. Okay, and we'll try to go after Greece and see if we can do something. The West does not have a whole lot of strategic moves to do. I have Gibraltar here. Where did I put Malta? Is Malta still in Malta? I don't know where the Malta... Oh no, I dropped Malta on Corsica. That's right. Okay. So I'm probably going to have to get somebody into Malta as well. I don't really have a strategic move at this point. Soviets... I'm not sure that they have a whole lot of strategic moves at this point. They're kind of waiting on getting some of these other areas so they can start moving armies in. So I think they're done too. Did I had this guy up here with the thoughts of like going to Norway's aid or something, but with the Swedes in, it's probably not going to happen. So I'm going to get this guy on the road to the south someplace. We'll go put him there. That's a very key hex. Hex 2746. Very key defensive hex for the Soviets to try to hold when the Germans come barreling into the Soviet Union. Okay, now we're into trying to do this again. This is very hard to do. I do have tanks markers now, so I'm going to just try and do this. I'm going to try and do this as a multi-pronged attack. So we're just going to do it like one thing at a time. 5th Luft. The British can add their tanks and their airplane. So they're +3. +4 to +3. There's an air battle. We each took one, and I got a no effect, which is a pain in the butt. We'll have the 7th do an assault with the tanks and an aircraft. The British will throw in theirs, so it's +4 to +2 this time. I took 2 hits and got another no effect. This is very disheartening. So it'll be +3 to +2, I guess. And no effect. 3 no effects. So that was a complete waste of my time. But I have to try it. I have to do it every turn. All right, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and 2 is 20, and 2 is 22. So I don't have but 2 German points left. I'm going to go ahead and move this guy on up the railway. Okay, that's all we can do for now. And then we will pass. We don't have anything else to do. We're not going to skip the are we going to skip the voluntary? Yeah, we're not going to eliminate anything with the Germans. Supply all known convoy. Here we're going to, oh, that's what I wanted to do. Can I undo this? I have one more point I think I can spend. Because I want to get the Nor infantry. I'm trying to get him to marching down to being near Malmo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll be able to go 1, 2 into Copenhagen and then rail to Germany. So that's what I'll do next turn. Okay, now I pass. All with no convoy. Him I want to have be at full so I can get him up, and these guys will go limited still. Okay, the west. Well, things are going okay here. Looks like he's gearing up to go after the Greeks. So maybe I need to get some people back here. We're going to take the Med Fleet. It's going to go to here. Got poor weather. They're not going to do it here. No, we'll let that go. Confirm the naval path. Because then the British are going to take the Western Desert Force, naval transport it with the Med Fleet as escort. And we're going to try and get all the way back here. And this is where the surface action marker will try and make itself felt. Be better if I had subs. I'm a -1 to a -1. So I need like a big split to get through this. And I did not, so. And confirm the naval path. We'll just go down there. And that's where we'll sit. And what that'll let me do with the British is if he attacks the Greeks will try to defend up there, but I can put something in that will trigger the Mediterranean crisis for me and let me bring in my garrisons and be able to do things. This guy here is just going to sit there for now. But if he conquers Greeks, I better not be sitting in Malta. I'm going to go back over to Haifa. Then I'm going to spend most of my time, most of my points are going to be in rebuilding everything. So we're going to pass. I'm not going to eliminate anything. Can't I just do this? Okay, he's going to use UK4. He'll use UK2. And we're done. Soviets, we don't really have a move. You know, I'm kind of stuck until I get these things. Then I can start trying to form lines and things in here. We're just past. We don't really have anything to do. Supply them all and we're done. So that's January. Now, voluntary elimination, I didn't click that. I'm not going to eliminate anything. It's dumb. 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 I forgot to check the little box. Replacements for the Germans. Now, if I did this right, I should have 2 left when I get done here. 3, 6, 9, 2, 6, 9, 2. Right? 2, 3, 6, 9, 6, 9. And I've got 2 left to build the Africa Army. Confirm. And the West is going to do something similar. They're going to make sure that they get this guy to have at least some sorties on him. I want my airplanes back. What have I got left? 11. Which means I can do 2 convoys. Not sure where the 4th is. We'll do the 4th, and we'll do the Mediterranean fleet. Or should I have done the 1st? I probably should have done the 1st. Undo these last 2. We'll do the 1st and the Mediterranean fleet. Because I'm not interested in... I don't have anything to build, and I'm not interested in playing around in the cup at this point. It's a Soviet affair. The Germans can build the Africa Army somewhere in Germany. Now I have to decide where I want it to be. I could build it to go to the east, but I'm planning on having all my armor over there in the end. So I think I'm going to build it in the west for now. Or maybe I can have it. I can be traditional and send it to help the Italians. I'll put it there. And the only one who can pull is the Soviets, and they're like, I know there's a political failure but I really need to get an area seized. And I pulled the no event. And now we've got fair in the Mediterranean, poor and poor. And if we go over here, the Mediterranean line is here. So we are definitely going to declare war on Greece, even though I don't have any air power. Yeah, I think I need to go get Greece early here. So let's go get Greece. The Greeks will set up him. It's poor weather, so we want to go here. And we want to go here. Trying to make him waste time attacking me. And, oh, actually it's fair down here, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Well, we'll still do that. Lets me possibly bring the British into Athens. And so continue. I'm not going to attack anyone else. I am going to give a point to the Yugoslavs because I'm going to need them to move units. The UK, Greeks has one. We'll give them an extra point just to help out. Soviets are like that. The Finns don't need anything. They're not being attacked. Now, I don't have the surface action marker, so I'm going to go ahead and use the submarines to try and keep working on the British total production points. And now we got strategic moves. Here, I think I'm just going to save the point and move this infantry guy. Too far. I'll move him into here. Because I really want to get an armored unit back here at some point. So I'm having troubles because without Romania in the game, I have issues. The West, no. And the Soviets, no. They're done. Okay. So now we're going to do this fight down here. We're going to trigger Mediterranean crisis, which is probably a bad thing for me to do. But I can go 1, 2, 3. Well, let's do the West first. That's poor weather. That's the same thing I did before. 3 attacks here. Just like I did last time. Do this. Because that gives me a +3, 4. Oh, this is good because I can add free forces on the second attack and be a +3. So we'll confirm this. Commit. We have the air battle. No effect as usual. The 7th comes across with the armor and aircraft. The British use fighter command, and they're going to go ahead and use the... Ooh, do I want to use free forces here? Or can I use it with the Greeks? I've got ground supports for the Greeks. I think it's more important to hang on to Brest. So we'll do that. Okay, here we go. So it's +4 to +3 again. Okay, the air battle. Again, he does 2 to me, and I get no effect. It's very disheartening that I can't get anything on this guy. I use first RF. Doesn't matter. Now I get a DR, but it doesn't matter because it's too late. So I'm getting the DR on the 3rd attack when I want to get it on the 1st attack. Very bad. Very bad. Okay. Okay. Things to do down here. We're going to trigger the med thing. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't quite pull it off, but I can force him to retreat where I want him to retreat. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4. Can't do it that way. Okay. What I think I'm going to do, I don't know if this is going to work. This is not going to work, I don't think. We're going to try it anyway. We'll try it with the armor first. He gets 2 attacks on this guy. So we attack him once here. We will use 1 ground support here. Oh, he got blown away anyway. So I get this. I get to move to here. Attack here. Yeah. No effect. That's what I needed to see. A no effect means that he can't get to Athens. So the British can go into Athens and try and defend it. All right, and then this Yugoslav needs to get down here to make it an opposed invasion if he decides to try and do anything. And I don't, did I have something to do with the Swedes? No, he's in the right place. These guys are guarding the 2 important ports. He's guarding that, so we're all, oh, this is the other thing I need to do. He needs to get to here, because that'll put him in supply in the future. Okay, we're kind of stuck again. Nothing to do with the, no reason to spend the points here. I can use everything for reorganization. Okay. Do I have anything to build? I have an armor to build, so I have to save 2. So 5 guys is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay. Yep, that's where I want to stop. So now these 2 will just stay at low supply until I need them to not be at low supply. Okay, the West. Okay, I guess we're going to go in for a penny, in for a pound, right? But if I come here, I need to bring an airplane down too. In order to defend this properly, I really need to get an aircraft in here. Is that not... Greece does not trigger... I guess Greece does not trigger the event. Ah. Okay. That's interesting. Well, interesting issues. All right, I'm going to give up on Corsica. At this point, I want to make sure that I hang on to Malta. I'm afraid that he's going to get it. So we'll confirm a naval path to there. And we're going to take Malta, enable transport, move him into Malta, and enter the fort. And then he can go on back to Haifa. So he's out of the way for possible other shenanigans later. Now, the question is, do I put the British into Athens, or do I just let them hold? If I put them into Athens, he might not be able to get Italy soon. Soon enough to matter, I guess is the way to look at it. So we're going to go. I'm going to go support our minor ally here. Naval transport. Go ahead and put the fleet in there too. We're just going to go right here to Athens. And we're just going to stay there. And that's all we're going to do. We got to reinforce everything. I'm not going to voluntarily eliminate anything. Oh, I really needed to bring an aircraft over here, didn't I? Undo this. I really needed to bring an aircraft over here. So you are going to get some sorties on you. Yeah, it's going to be the same either way. Actually, you could go. You don't have any sorties. Okay. Let's do some shenanigans. No, we want to do shenanigans with the 4th. We will run the 4th. I can't quite reach Plymouth, huh? Alright, I know I can get back here. So we'll go here. And we're not going to have many sorties, but we'll have enough to defend. And then we're going to grab the 4th convoy. He's going to come back up here. Oh, come on. Grab this. Confirm. And then we're going to take the airplane, the naval transport, and we're going to see how far we can get over here. Can we get to Kanya? Yes, we can. We're going to go here. And that's where we're going to stay. Okay, then we'll get these guys all back, as well as the ones in France. All right, that's the West. No, I don't think we're going to eliminate anything. Let's fly all this way. Yes. 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 Soviets don't have anything to do, because I can't get anybody to let me move forward. So we're not going to do anything. We're just going to wait. All right, the Germans can do 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. They want to build their armored unit 5. Confirm. The British have to pull him up. I need to get this one, this one. What have I got left? 8. Probably want to get fighter command up. Got 5 left. So I'm going to end up wasting a couple things here. Well, let's get him started so that I have something to do with him if I need to. Germans are going to build this in Königsberg and say that they're done. Only the British can pull, or the Soviets. They're either going to get a political failure or they're going to get an area. They got an area. First one you take is Latvia. And the reason why we take Latvia, in case you guys don't understand, Latvia gives me the Duna River to defend. So if I don't have Lithuania, I can actually just pull back armies and defend Latvia. Defend along the Duna River and have an army ready to just run in and take Tallinn when we go to war. The Germans, we've got Severe. Oh God, Severe, I can't even get them with Severe. I only get one attack. Very, very bad that I got Severe with in March. Because nothing works here. Nothing works here at all. Nobody can use any airplanes. Nobody can use any tanks. He can use his ground support. It's bad. Yeah, no reason to declare war on anything. Nope, I don't need to give up any points. The UK is not going to bother because the Greeks are just going to stand. Same thing with the Russians and Finns. It's a +1 to a +0. And it didn't go my way because I don't have that extra +2. A strategic move for the Germans. Go ahead and put you there. Because I have another infantry guy or armored guy that I can put up there. Yeah, I'm not doing well here at all with the Germans, guys. We're in March of 41. What's my time? 32 minutes in, March of 41, and it's severe, so we're not going to get anywhere. The West has absolutely nothing that it wants to do. It's very happy. Soviets can move. They can move as well as they can strategic move, so there's no real point. Guess you could take the guy from Vilnius and put him here. Just to say you did something. Okay. So the Germans can't really do anything down here. Because even at +2, -1, so they'd be +1 to +1. +1 to 0 and halved means the best that I can get is a 4 to a 2, so I don't see any reason to bother. If anything, we're going to get one of these guys marching back to help the Germans. And we've got our Severes over here, so this is just going to be, can I get 6-1 split type situation? Because I've got assault here is +3 halved to +1 halved. Do we go ahead and add this in? Let's see if this makes a difference. +4 to +1 halved. Both of us. Aha, I got my DR here. And that's going to give him, I think, a net of +2. Okay, I've got a +3 to -1, and we're both halved. Do I get it? Do I pull it off? Yes, we pulled it off. And he did not have the thing, so boom. We taketh. We taketh thou. And they go, okay, well, if you want to be that way about it, let's go drop Force H here to say hi. And this convoy can just go here to say hi. So we took Brest, finally. Took forever. There's really no reason to it. The med is poor, so we might actually be able to do something here. But I don't think my aircraft can reach there. How far can you go? Can you reach the east? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. No, you can't. Well, you've got to get over here anyway. Because you got to get out of British air range in any event. So we're just going to head him towards the east, but we're actually going to probably... God, can I get very far, can I? Okay. And then you need to not be here, because the British will just bomb the hell out of you. So you're going to fly back to like Metz. Get out of British air range. From Metz, you can cover 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factories from there. And once the Americans get in, you can go to 27, 22 and cover most of Germany. I've got 24. What's in the cup? An area seized in a political failure. I don't know. Okay. Let's go up here. See, if I had supplied him, I could have flown him to the east and then had one of these fly down and help here. So I'm stupid. It's going to be very, very bad here. Well, there's no reason not to try it. I'm a net of +1. Let's look at our handy dandy chart here. If we're +1, and he's +0, there's a 38% chance, but if we put in a 1, there's only a 25% chance he takes the hex. We want to make him have to take extra attacks. Right? Well, we don't have a choice, so. Confirm. Come in. I did get a DR, but he still has a point just to bring himself back up, so it doesn't really help. Because I can't attack from any other hexes. That's the bad thing going on here. And then I'll have to fight the British again. With air cover. Regular Yugoslav troops are not going to be used for this. Okay, I think I'm done at this point. I can move him up next turn. Should I pass? Skip the voluntary. Let's try all. We're going to make him be full, and he can go low. Alright, the British were defeated again in France, but they're not too worried about things now. They do want to hang on to this over here. So I don't think they need to do anything. They're just going to say they're passing. They're very happy with where their position is. Spend all the points they have on I don't think there's anybody that can intercept me. So, and the Soviets now can do a little bit of shenanigans. This guy will move to here. So we kind of have the Duna, and then we'll build in Riga. Right? So I think we're fine. Supply all. The Germans go 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. And I don't think they have anything left to build. So they'll actually be able to do something in the politics phase. The Greeks use their 1. And then we want the first RAF. And this convoy. And this convoy. What have I got left? 9? I think I'm going to do the 2 ships. Right? Just get them up to full. Because I'm going to be starting to lose production points here. And the Soviets get to build this. They're going to build it up here in Riga. Confirm. And the Germans can do something. Now they have to have a serious talk with themselves. They could give the Soviets a 50-50 chance of some sort of success, with a political success and an area seized. A political success would kill the Germans. So the Germans just want to make it a little bit harder for him to get an area seized. So we're going to go no event, no event. And the Soviets are like, I got to try and grab the last one. Maybe I can get Estonia as well. And they did. So now here's a choice. You could take Estonia and have your retreat routes set up, and you lose out on Lithuania. Or you can take Lithuania, and later on in the war, you have a chance to get back. The reason why I'm going to take Lithuania, I'll tell you right now. You take Lithuania because now this is the front line of the Soviet army, is all the way up to here. So 3 hexes means you can have an airplane sitting in Königsberg, or even as far as here, 2334. You can have a Soviet Air Force there, still considered part of your home defense, but being able to contribute to breaking these river lines trying to get into Germany. And that's why you have to take Lithuania after you've taken Latvia, because Latvia is your defense line. Lithuania is long-term, end of game. We need to have that. So that's why I'm going to take Lithuania. Estonia, we can either conquer or they'll declare war on it, and maybe we can conquer it, and it depends on who gets it. But that's a more important thing. Plus, now I can actually advance the line to here and maybe try a front defense, because the Germans do not have Romania. And it might just work, because they're going to be kind of stuck. Okay, Germans in April. We're at 43 minutes. We're going to have an April, May, June. Should we go ahead and do the April turn? It's fair. We're going to do the April turn next time. So I will try to do an April, May. Yeah. No, we'll do it here. We're not going to declare war on anybody. We're going to try and bring this up, and that'll put us in a good position for next time. So we're going to say continue. Do we need to give anything to Yugoslavs? Probably not this turn. I think we're okay. The UK is not going to, it has 20, but knows it's going to have a lot of problems. Okay, we're done here. All right, so now the axis is +3 to my 0. And this is where I will start losing production every turn. I'll be 18 next turn, probably 16, then 14, then I might go back up to 16, then I'll go down to 12, and then I'll get back to like 14 because of Lend-Lease, and it's going to be, I'm going to be in the low teens or so for stuff. What am I going to do? I need to get one of these infantry back into the east. It needs to get like here. Takes a very long train ride. And then he's going to, the first will move, or the second will probably move down. No, the first will move up here so that he can move up there in May. Do I want to do that? No. We're not going to finish there. We're going to go ahead and put the 7th up here. Because what we're going to do is we're going to move the armored unit to get onto a rail line to get into position. To be able to rail up here. Okay. The west, no, I don't have anything. And the Soviets don't really have anything yet. Okay, the Germans have got to do some shenanigans here. This airplane needs to move up to like here. And he'll get replenished next turn, at the end of the turn. But by doing that, I'm allowed to bring this aircraft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta spend 2. Dang it. Well, that's just the way it is. Gotta send 2 sorties. Spend 2 sorties to get to here because I need to be able to hit things. Okay. I don't want to use my surprise attack marker down here. Before I forget, you go to your permanent home. You are racing back to the east, but we're going to end up railing you anyway. And you need to actually be in... Come on. How many times I gotta click you? Stop. Gotta move this airplane. It's gotta go to Dusseldorf. And the reason why you go to Dusseldorf is you can cover Metz, Aachen, Dusseldorf, Frankfurt, Hanover, Bremen, and Hamburg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can cover this whole block from Dusseldorf. So that means he's got to do a long flight around to hit like Berlin, Leipzig, and Munich, which he can do. But then when you pull yourself back to 27, 22, you can now cover all those cities as well. And it becomes much harder for them to bomb just with the BEF, with the British Bomber Command. You can inflict some wounds. Once the Americans come in and they can start, sending 2 and 3 bombers at you at a time, you either have to commit to aircraft there or you just say screw it and take your hits and try to defeat like the Soviet Union before it bites too much. Okay, I do not want to pass. I want to go to Greece. Because we have to try to take out Greece. And we're not going to do it, I don't think. Because, well, I can beat up the Greeks. That's not a problem. So this should be doable. So +5. Got rid of him. We go into here. Unfortunately, we can't run over here. So we got to attack into here. And this is where it gets really bad. Because I'm only a +5. And he's going to be a +5. Confirm. Commit. Yes, we fight the air battle. Oh, I got a lucky die roll in the air battle. But no effect on the ground. And then I attack him again. At +5. This time to +3. And hope I get a DR. And I got a defender retreat. Now the British have to choose something. This is where it gets interesting. if I retreat to here, where I have red square, I could do that. Am I going to be able to kick that German armor out of Athens so I can get back to my fleet? No. Or I could use the naval evacuation, which is historical, and go to Crete, and then I can use the fleet in Crete to push him back into Alexandria so I can do something about the Turks, or the Italians, because the Italians are going to be able to set up here. So this is a British debacle somewhat, but we are going to do the naval evacuation to here. Because notice, by doing the naval evacuation, it's considered a retreat. I'm still able to activate myself. Of course I'm going to take the Blight Hacks. Then I'm going to get out of the Hex. Oh, I have to do things. So, Medfleet is going to go here. Convoy is going to go here. And they will activate the Italy. And we're at 51 minutes, so I can still do this. Okay, this is where we have issues. Because we have to consider, we'll probably bring the Africa army in here. I do not want him to invade Tripoli. I do not want him to invade Benghazi. I do want to guard there. I do need to guard Palermo somewhat. I need to put an infantry in Catania. I need to put an infantry in Taranto. I need to put a second infantry over here because he's got to run in. And now I have to make a decision. Do I use a garrison? Where's my... Alright, well, the first convoy is going to go here. And first fleet is going to go here. I really need the Italian air to help me in Russia. But right now it's going to have to do some work down here. So we're going to leave it here. And the second fleet convoy will go here. Now what do I want to have guarding Tobruk? I think I can do it with a garrison. Do I really want to use a garrison? Such decisions that I have to make. Well, one thing you do have to do is just to keep it to being a free invasion. You got to put something in Terrazzo. So that you don't forget. And then Italian 8th Army. What's it going to do? I think we have to push on into Egypt as fast as we can. So I'm going to take a chance here on supply. And that's my mobilization. The British get to mobilize down here. We'll put the 10th in Hafia. We'll put the 9th as close to the front as we can. And then we confirm that. Emergency shipping. I can get a convoy. I don't really need to change that. Do I? See, this is the first. This is the third. You're the second. You're the fourth. Where's this? Where's the second? Oh, he's in England, which I want to use to possibly ship things into places. I think that I'm good. Where's the fourth? You're the fourth. You're going to bring the Western Desert Force back. He wants to waste a surprise attack marker to invade Crete. More luck to him. Right? Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to move any. And he's going to move out of here. I have to put a real unit in Athens, I think. German infantry is going to go racing up here. All right, so I managed to do that. Now I'm up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm up to 9 conquered countries. So it's going to be a +3 against the Soviets versus a +1, which is very, very bad. This aircraft does not need to be here. So he might as well, because the British are just going to take me out anyway. So I might as well just like fly up here. Right? There's no point to it. Then I got to get my, I'm going to have to try and get my things back. My sorties. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we could do that. Let's do that. We're going to get this guy headed back to the east in the long run. Okay. We're going to probably do some shenanigans there. Otherwise, I think I'm set here. I've got 1, 2, 3, actually 4 units doing 4 real units doing garrison duty in France. This guy here needs to head. Where can he get to? He cannot get all the way to this fleet, so I screwed up again. All right, so what I should have done is I should have set this fleet and this convoy should have been set like in Venice or Trieste, because that's where the Africa army could march, and then I could go grab it and bring it down. Instead, I'm going to have to do a fleet movement with them, which is annoying. They are going to not be able to help the Germans very much. They have to get rid of this fleet as best they can. Why am I keep scrolling down like that? Stop that. +1 to +1. Okay, we got lucky. See if you can end that fleet here. Now you're +0 to -1. +1 to +1. Now, I don't need to go any farther. You may say, huh? What? I don't need to go any farther because he can attack once and get a sortie, but that's all he can do. Now, unfortunately, this is one that I can't stop. Force H is going to just totally wreck me, which is why I have to push into Egypt to try and make him want to not be there. So we are going to do that. You are going to run all the way to here. You are going to run all the way to here. Threatening to come across on the Nile, which should bring the Western Desert Force back to Alexandria. And then like the 9th will come up, and maybe even the 10th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you'll probably have the 10th and the 9th here, and Western Defense Force, Desert Force in Alexandria is my thoughts. But I don't think, I wonder if he'll leave this here. If he does, I can actually intercept. So he has to escort back. All right, we're going to stay right there for now. I've got to get through 3. This is so hard. This was probably a bad idea. I probably should have just left Italy out of the war. This is going to cost me more than anything. Okay. We're not going to do an escort. We're going to say, do you want to hit my convoy? Now, Force H could, like, lay into this and give him a bunch, but do I want to be able to screw up his supply line? Oh, boy. What do we do here? The British are going to be hurting for production points come the next few turns. I think I'm going to go ahead and try it. Just because I have a huge plus here. And maybe I can do a ton of damage to him. It got him for 2. And then he's just going to retreat to here, to Venice. Okay. So the Italian Air Force could go to Athens. And then bomb the bejeebers out of the RAF. This is long-term economic warfare type thing is what I'm thinking of here. Okay, let's see what happens here. Moved those things up. Yeah, we got to try this. Hang on a second. Have I got everybody up here? No, I don't. I wanted to have this infantry here. Okay, and I think I want to try and save 5 if I can. So 3, 6. So I've got 3, 6, 3, 6, 9, 12, which would leave me 5. Okay. And supply all. Unfortunately, we have terrible things to do here. First thing I'm going to do is the fleet here. No, I'm not. Undo that. Do not do the fleet first. This is a case where you want to do the infantry first. And this is where we're going to show you a little mechanic here. So the med fleet is going to go ahead and intercept. Doesn't get anywhere, but I did put a sortie on him. Then I have Force H intercept. I hit him for 2, and then I hit the convoy again. But I didn't get the convoy, so he got through. But that was the idea there, is to try and weaken that, I was trying to get a bunch of hits on the convoy right away, which I didn't get. Okay. So now the next one up is the 8th. He's going to go here. Use convoy. I've got to escort him because that terrible thing is out there. Now, the British are up to 3, so they're only at a +1. I could try to go through, but then it'd be a 0 to -3. And I might not hit him and really stop him because he's only got 1 sortie on here. And then I would be up to 5 sorties. So I'm going to say that no more interceptions for him this turn. We'll let that one go through. Okay, now they're going to do... The guy in Tobruk is going to just take limited supply. He's reduced and he doesn't have any markers. I think I'm going to do something a little odd for these guys. All right, this guy's going to go limited supply. He'll go ahead and say full supply. So I went ahead and didn't take supply on them. It's like if he wants to intercept the ship, he can, but that's kind of pointless for him. I mean, his sorties cost 5 to get back. So we're going to say we're done with that nonsense. And supply is over, and we're into the west. Okay. I'm well over an hour. This is going to take a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but okay. I'm trying to do this in like quarter of years until I get to the summer months. Like I'll do May, June next time, and then, or May, June, July, depending on how things go. So what they want to do is they want to take the Western Desert Force, enable transport. They're going to escort, and they're going to try to get to Alexandria. Okay? So they confirm their naval path. Oh, there's no, I can't do that. I can't do that till I move that transport. Sorry, forgot. Sorry, I had to do a different move first. Dumbass. So this guy is going to go to Suez. And then we're going to move the Western Desert Force with a naval transport. to, I should be able to intercept from Brindisi. Confirm the escort. They want to go here. Confirm the naval path. And then the second fleet is going to make a desperate attempt to get a good die roll here and keep those guys on Crete. And failed miserably, as the typical Italian Navy would in World War II. Unfortunately, the British have got to stay here because they've got supply issues. Okay, so they did that. This guy is going to move to Cairo. Hopefully he'll hold until the BEF can get back over here. And then the 9th is going to go here. Again, hopefully I'll be able to build the BEF in the Western Indian Sea. Which reminds me, this guy here is going to go into the Western Indian Ocean. So that I can get somebody back here. Okay, I don't have a lot of points left. I've got 16 and a whole lot of things I need to do. I am going to remove this airplane so I can rebuild it elsewhere. It's not going to help me there. And I may have to let the Med Fleet not be able to intervene here because reasons. Okay, I think I am done. I'm not worried about Gibraltar at this point. Yeah, I'm fine there. Yeah, we're going to pass. We're not going to skip the voluntary elimination phase because I have things to eliminate. Supply all like this. And then he goes to no supply. He will supply himself to... He's going to dare the Axis to attack him. And they're going to say, no, you've already got 6 sorties. I'm not wasting my sorties to try and stop you. That's silly to do that. Okay. Now, I think I can do a supply all and I'll be fine. Yeah. All right. Now the Soviets have issues. Oh, we've got issues right here in River City. Do we want to take a chance? We had fair in April. May is a 1/3 chance. Right? Yeah, there's a 1/3 chance that it'll be fair in May. But actually, you almost want the Germans to come with an armored unit in Greece and an infantry unit in Yugoslavia, and their aircraft trashed. So I'm going to entice him to come and get me. Move you here. Move you here. Move you here. Actually, do you want to move here instead? I think you want to move here instead. And then you will move to Vilnius. Back to Vilnius. Airplanes need to adjust a little bit. Putting them on the 4-way junctions screws up German supply. By putting them on those junctions, they almost have to push you off. So that's why I did that. Okay? And that's what the Soviets do. They're not going to eliminate anything. They supply it all. Okay, voluntary elimination. This guy that's in no supply, I don't have any chance of getting him out of there, so I'm going to eliminate him. And that's the only one that's going to go away. I'll be able to rebuild him. The Germans with replacements. They need to save 5 so they can do 4 things. 4 things is airplane, airplane. Ooh, is that the right airplane? Airplane. And where's the other? Where's the, oh, and that's the one that's in the west there. Okay. And they've got 5 points left. Nothing to build, so they're going to be able to do something with the cup. Replacements for the Italians. They have 10 points. They're going to have to do this guy, and then the convoy here. First convoy. Because that's where most of their supply is going to come from, unfortunately. So they're going to be hurting here a bit. Yeah, that's what we can do. The British. Well, I definitely have to spend 2 here. I don't think they need to be in the cup. So they could actually go for Force H and 3 convoys. So the convoys are going to be this one, and this one, and this one. Oh no 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 undo. Undo, undo. I have BEF to build here. I have BEF to build here. So yeah. I have to be able to build the BEF this turn. So he's gonna have to stay. Messed up. Okay. That's what we're gonna do. Soviets, yeah. I mean I've got so many points I don't know what to do with them all. I won't have it for very long, but then the British are going to build this down here in the western, where they're allowed to, Western Indian Ocean. Soviets are going to put this guy in Riga. Now the Germans have a pro marker, so there's a 1 in 4 chance they will pull a political failure. They don't have a lot of things to lose other than Romania. There's a 1 in 4 chance that they'll get a pro marker and Romania will come into the war. And there's a 50% chance they'll get nothing. They're going to pull. This is their long shot. And they pulled a no event. The Soviets are screwed. They cannot get Estonia. So they want to dilute it for next turn in case the Germans don't go. So they're going to put an area seized, which will be a no event will go in the cup. And there we will end it. It is fair everywhere in May, so the Germans have to make a huge decision here. Do they start an early Barbarossa with less than optimal troop concentrations? Or do they try to consolidate up the Middle East? You know, pushing the British out of Egypt and getting enough forces down there to do something. That is going to be our discussion for next time. I have been at this almost an hour and 20 minutes, so we're going to wrap this up really quick. Once again, this is Unconditional Surrender. This is Dren608 Plays. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of the month, so if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel. If you hit the notify bell, you'll be notified when I upload videos, and also when I put up polls about what's the next thing I'm going to be doing, so you get to vote on kind of what I put out. I do stream 3 times a week, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Wednesday is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which was one of those polls. 100% said I had to play that game. Saturday was another poll, Baldur's Gate 3 as a monk playing the Drunken Master subclass. So again, the polls are telling me what you guys want to see, so that's what I'm putting out there. Fridays, we tried to do an experiment playing multiplayer versions of computer role-playing games. Ace, who's one of my children, helped me out. They were a barbarian. I was a bard. We started off in Baldur's Gate 3. We got I don't know, a third of the way through chapter 1. And then conflict of scheduling for Ace just totally destroyed their Fridays. So they haven't been able to attend. I think it's been like once every 6 weeks we're able to actually coordinate it out. So they had me start up. I said, well, I want to fill that time slot. And they said, well, start up another stream of Baldur's Gate 3, so so everybody knows it's Baldur's Gate 3 on that Friday time slot. And then they said, do an origin character, and I started hawing about which one to do, and she said, do Gale. And I was like, well, okay, I haven't really seen a Gale playthrough. I'm sure somebody's done one, but I haven't seen it. It hasn't been like really popular. So I'm trying to do a Gale playthrough, and I'm getting a few people that are tuning in to see it. I decided to romance Karlach with Gale because my first playthrough that I did was episodic in nature. I did it, half an hour to an hour shows at a time, and it took me, I don't know, 300 shows or something. It took me forever to get those out and get that done. It was a lot of episodes. You can find that in my channel in a playlist. But I just kind of stumbled into Shadowheart's romance line and didn't realize that I could actually switch out at some point. I thought after the first romance scene, it's like, oh, I'm locked in here. This is the one I'm going to be romancing. And so I just went down that path, and I didn't think about trying to do anything else. It wasn't until like in Act 3 when I get propositioned like by 4 different people. I was like, oh shit, you mean I could have been romancing other people all along? Okay, I messed this up. So now I'm a little more savvy on the romance thing, and I can tinker around with different people. I am seriously thinking of having the monk, who's named Nore Hune, um, tune in to find out how that name came to be. Uh, I'm seriously thinking about having him romance Lae'zel, and then I can say, okay, I've done that half the cast. I've done that half of the support characters, and then come back and maybe run some female characters and do like Will and Astarion, and I don't really think I need to do Astarion because I would say half the female creators I see doing creation stuff, they're all going for Astarion. And I'm like, okay, you guys are all really into vampires, got it. So it's just that way, I guess. So I figured I might do some female playthroughs to get the Gale romance from the female character standpoint, and the Will romance from the female character standpoint, so that we have that out on social media somewhere. That's out in YouTube someplace in the ether, and then I'll probably back off Baldur's Gate 3 for a while and go forward. I do have a new idea that I'm trying to float, so check out the channel for a poll, and you can vote on whether you want to see me do something called the Librarian, and it'll be explained in the post and in the intro video that I have about the whole thing. All right, that's enough of me talking. We'll be back on this. Don't know when I'll be able to record this again, hopefully in the next few days. As a reminder to myself, I always do this on camera so everybody can see that I actually did it. I need to go down here and go Menu, Save Game, and it shows me that it saved a game, US 28 Declare War Dren608.gz. So that's the file that if Board Game Arena does have a grand total time limit of people that didn't take turns, and because I'm playing all sides, that clock is always on. So it's accumulating time, even though I'm moving stuff and doing things. It's still accumulating time because it's never seen an actual turn change because I'm all the people. So at some point, it gets to a certain number and it says, okay, that's too many minutes of server time without a move. I'm going to end the game. And that's why you need to save it when you play solo like this, so that if it does that, then you just start up a new game, load the game in, and you can get back to where you were and keep going forward with the game. Unless you're going to play it really fast solo when you're playing the main campaign here like this, you have to do those saves. So just kind of a warning, if you're playing something solo, make sure you save on a fairly regular basis so you don't have to repeat things and have different outcomes than what you're thinking about. Okay? All right, well, we're going to decide on what we're going to do, whether we're going to go into the Soviet Union right away or if we're going to try to hold off and maybe go in late, going in July, and try to go in with enough oomph and enough push on the UK, on the Western Allies, to make it a little bit easier of a romp in Soviet Union, because there won't be a problem. Stay tuned. I'm Dren608. Until we meet again, stay safe and bye-bye.